Chill. Yeah. M16.
This is unbelievable.
Brr. Weazel. You don't really wanna miss Weazel news. We keep the city on they P's and they Q's, cause they know we pull up with them cameras and shoot. We tell the truth so you don't get confused. You don't really wanna miss Weazel news. We keep the city on they P's and Q's, cause they know we pull up with them cameras and shoot. We tell the truth so you don't get confused. Hey. Shout out to my boss, Baron. You know that man make it happen. He got a foot up in the damn door, and now the whole team taking action. We got pictures on whether you can chat with cheddar. Hit me for your music needs, who gon' do it better? And you can catch Travis on a rash report, or catch me going live with the facts from the source. Ari is a newswoman, plus you with the force. Man, the whole Weazel staff, we on top, check the score. Editors, producers, all going hard. Don't make us pull up with them cameras in your front yard. Weazel.
And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Weazel News. We are your hosts, Lindsay Lauren and Dick Dastardly. How you doing tonight, Dick?
I'm doing good, Lindsay. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing fantastic. Do you know what we have outside right now?
Yes, dear Lord. We called it last week. We told y'all that a cold front was dipping down to us. We knew what was going to happen, so yeah.
Yeah, it has been a very brisk last 2 days or so in Los Santos. The S word, the snow, has moved in. Everyone has their hats on. Everybody's got their gloves on. We got a few new snow vehicles in the server with the addition of a snowmobile and snowboards. People have been having fun on those. It's been quite the brisk and icy last few days.
That's right. There were a number of vehicles skidding off the road last night because apparently they decided to break out the two-wheel drive vehicles to scare the all-wheel drive vehicles.
Oh boy, yes, not a good evening, or not a good day for those non 4-wheel drive vehicles. Making sure everybody is safe out on the road. But our first responders have been doing a great job at keeping everything tame and in line, I guess, as you can say.
As best as they could do it, I would dare to say as best they can do it where the snowfall is. DOT's been out with their plow trucks in the city, doing everything they can to keep the roads clear. But heaven forbid, just as soon as they clear them, it's right back to snowing again.
I know, it's been almost like it doesn't go away. It goes back so fast.
That's right. It's like it's almost part of the road sometimes.
Indeed, it is. I know that they had last evening, the SAFD responded to a overturned ATV out in the wilderness of Polino due to the icy conditions.
That's right. I believe they had fire and law enforcement and because the ATV wound up bursting into flames in the gully.
Wow.
Yeah, luckily I believe the rider was able to get off of it and went to the hospital with some minor injuries, possibly.
Oh.
But luckily it wasn't nothing major. He wasn't trapped under the ATV at the time when it burst into flames. So
good to hear.
Yeah. Be careful when you're in the hills on those ATVs. You might want to trade them ATVs in for some good old snowmobiles.
Yes. Which they are, those snowmobiles are very nice. Just have to make sure that you don't get too much air, because you could topple over. Not that I know that from experience, but just looking out for everybody.
I was about to ask you, did you know it from experience? Because it kind of sounded like you may have a friend
Yeah.
who has a friend who has a friend who knows experience.
Yes, I do have a friend who knows a friend who knows a friend who has some experience, but they were uninjured, and everything is all good and well. But yeah, I think they did take a hill or two too quickly and found out real fast what traction and not having traction feels like.
Whoopsie.
Yeah. Whoopsies, but had to take one for the team there. Um, and let everybody, know to be careful. And now I'm out here spreading the word to tell all of you all. So,
That's what Weezer News is here for, to spread the awareness to be cautious.
yeah, awareness and some other things. Some good, some bad.
Some are donkey donks and some awareness.
Hashtag spread a dog snot hate.
Oh boy.
Oh wow. You cracked me up, Dick.
I'll try to.
And I think you crack up our viewers too.
I think they get a kick out of it every now and then. I have to venture for every now and then.
Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, hashtag spread a dogs not hate. New catchphrase, new motivational quote there.
That's right. Motivational quotes for the day.
Absolutely. Let's see. Last night we also had a house fire out on the Polito Boulevard. Polito Ave. There we go. There's the word. We finally found it. Out at postal 3009, and it was the house of a fireman. Actually,
I heard that. I heard it was a fireman's house was caught fire.
yes.
Something on the back porch was set on fire, I believe.
Yes, they do believe that it possibly an accelerant was involved, and we did get a statement from one of the firefighter whose house it was, and he said that it's been the third time in the past 8 weeks that something strange has been going on at his residence, and he did perceive it to be possibly killed or teenagers playing games, but now he's wondering if it's more serious. And unfortunately, he doesn't have TV cameras, but the sheriff's department is going to look into it more and see if they can get some answers to figure out what's going on here.
That's definitely scary. If you're on duty or trying to serve your community and your house gets, we'll say, incidentally set on fire, that's kind of a scary thought, responding to your own place on fire like that.
Exactly, especially they, didn't know what was on fire until they got there.
That's right. I'm just glad I was able to get it put out with no major damage to his personal residence.
Absolutely, yeah. Luckily, it was to the cornered off to the deck and the surroundings.
And speaking of house fires, I believe there was a second house fire also out on I call it the Polita Peninsula.
Mhm.
I understand that members of the fire department was not even aware of that house or structure even existing at that location. So
Wow.
I think the fire department learned something new within the city of Polito.
Mhm.
Apparently,
Yes.
it may have been like a safe house or a cultist type house that was set on fire for some reason.
Yes. Yeah, we're trying to get more information on that. I do know that the state police were in attendance, and there was a lot of I guess chatter, you can say, afterwards, about them. I believe that she had to call some other units about what she saw and give other people information. So, we'll see where this goes and if this is a case that they're working on, or what the criteria is and what they're dealing with.
That's kind of That's another little scary thought. I wonder if the two fires, the firefighter's house and that fire may have something in common, or it
Uh,
may just be coincidental they were set on fire the
yeah,
same night.
it's really it's really up in the air as far as Weazel knowledge that we know, but we'll definitely have to ask ask more questions and see if we can get an answer whether these fires were connected, because there was also another fire at the country store out near the Ron last evening, where they are still looking for a suspect, which will be an African American male wearing all black who had a black motorbike helmet and a um, was on a dirt bike, a black dirt bike. So if you see anything out of place or any of those characteristic descriptions on the same person, definitely tip off your local law enforcement to let them know, where it is so they can investigate.
Yes, most definitely, because heck, he may have had a hand in any of it, or he may just be totally separate in his own self. So yes,
Yeah,
uh, help out that law enforcement, and let's find this guy so we can ask him some questions and see if he knows anything.
absolutely. Yeah, it was crazy. Speaking of crazy, last night there was a lot of bait car happening in the Polito area. I know the sheriff's department was out doing a sting, and they did 4 to 5 bait cars last evening and got a suspect with each one of them. So a lot of high level crime happening right underneath our noses, pretty much, without us actually realizing it.
Polito used to be such a nice neighborhood. I guess the evil from the Los Santos is slowly inching its way up the coastlines to our nicer areas.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, our county locals have had their fair share of different things going on. But yes, it's definitely something to keep track of. I know I believe that all the offenders or suspects last night of the bait car operations were taken into custody. Do you want to know who was out on a bait car scene last night?
Let me guess, Granny Swag.
You are like right there close. The male version of Granny Swag, which is Mr. John Herbert.
Oh, I wonder if he was looking for some good old ice cream again.
So apparently he found his ice cream, but then he I don't know. I don't know if I'd be allowed to say this on TV, but we are Weazel News, so anything goes. He was jerking off on a tailpipe.
Wait a minute. You said on a tailpipe or
Like
his tailpipe?
he was he was doing it to the car's exhaust tailpipe.
Oh my.
I
Yeah, but that's all we can say is wow.
I have so many questions, but I'm scared to ask them.
Everybody wants to know how Mr. Herbert winds up in the news like he does, but he's become a local star lately.
He really has. I mean, but I also think that the news speaks for itself here.
You're right about that. It's one of those things that needs to be brought to light. Someone get that man a blow up doll or something.
It needs to a blow up doll with a lot of ice cream involved and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I think they just went a little too far. Blow up dolls and ice cream. I just got a mental picture that I wish I could get rid of there.
Yes. And let's see. Last night there was also a tow truck that tried to tow one of the bait cars that was deployed by our sheriff's department, and it is known that the operator from Benny's either mistaken the car for another car they were supposed to be towing or something like that. But the sheriff's department almost got their bait car towed away by Benny's.
That would have been kind of funny to see the bait car being towed away, and the sheriff's department is kind of sitting going, "What do we do now?"
Yeah, I think that was in the process last night, and then while they were, because they had it up in the air while the car was being put up on the bed, that's when the sheriff's department approached. So.
Well, we can probably write that off to the fact there was like 6 or 7 tows last night, and
Probably.
maybe 1 or 2 operators at a time, and
Yeah.
they was backed up. Oh, heaven forbid!
They were backed up. Dispatch was backed up. Dispatch did a fantastic job last night. Had one of the new recruits in there, and he did a fantastic job. So props off to him. For sure.
Good job for sure. I'm pretty sure that dispatch room was backed up. I heard something like one time they had 7 calls waiting for resources.
Wow.
Yeah, so I heard they was trying to get out as many resources they could. The snow had everybody backed up, I believe, last night.
Wow. Yeah, I believe that they had a few different broken down vehicles and a lot of different things going on last evening.
Yes, I believe they did.
And
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go right ahead, Nick.
I was going to shoot on over to the previous evening, but I'm
Yep.
pretty sure you got one more thing to cover from last evening before we do that.
You take it away because I'm having a mind blank. Go right ahead, Nick.
Okay, so what Tuesday was doing the patrol was down Eclipse Boulevard, I believe, and then up Great Ocean Highway, or was it the previous Tuesday?
That was the previous. I know we had the SAHP out with the commissioner, and we had out in the
That's right, yeah.
Sandy area.
And my correction, you know how some of these weeks start running together as we get closer to the end of the year. We know I'm starting to get up in age and all that.
Yep.
So things start running together.
Yep.
So that's right. We was running SAHP and SAFD
Yes.
that Tuesday night.
Yes, and I do believe that they had one of their probies out with the body cam on. So good for him.
Yeah, I think it was trying to give everybody a point of view of being in probie life from the SAFE. So he got a couple of pranks pulled on him. He had to do that probie work, cleaning the toilets, washing trucks, mopping floors. Supposedly they had a male subject complaining of stomach pains, possible diarrhea at one of the gas stations. And he arrived on scene to find some graffiti sprayed on the side of the wall. So it was an Australian and a French word up there. It was it was a Jemaishu Dumas. That's how it came back from the SAFD as Jamushu Dumas, which I think loosely translates to Jamie H. You dumbass. So yeah, the probie had a good time at night from sounds of it.
Good to hear. I know that they both ended up responding to a few different calls that evening, including a drunk male who was driving down Senora Freeway, and luckily the SHP, the commissioner, was actually right there when it happened. So he took him into custody, did a breathalyzer test, and he was 0.14 over the legal limit, which is 0.08.
That is fairly high. I'm surprised he's even able to find a vehicle.
he was all over the road, from what the commissioner told me, and then he actually spun out right in front of the commissioner. So he was, on some heavy alcohol there. Apparently he couldn't even say he had come from the Yellow Jack, and he couldn't even say the word right. He was calling it like the bouncing bunny, and he had rabbits on the mind or something, because he called it the veggie rabbit, the bouncing rabbit. Everything was about rabbits with this guy.
No rubber duckies in there.
No, there was a yellow banana though.
Oh, okay. Yellow banana. That's right. That's why I heard it was yellow banana, not the rubber duckies.
Yeah, not rubber duckies, but there was a yellow banana. Of course, all normal things.
That's right. I believe we also had a bus accident too.
Yes.
A fairly large bus accident where the bus caught fire and ran up the dike system right there in Sandy.
Wow. And I believe that person was, there was only one person in the vehicle, I believe, when
That's
it
right.
ran into the embankment.
Yeah, as a little old lady, something about she was trying to hand out some sort of Bibles or scripture to those who would listen to her.
Wow.
Never called her name myself, but the poor medic that was tending to her, the medic that was tending to her, I believe, she had to step away for a few moments because she just couldn't believe her ears or what was coming out of that poor lady's mouth.
Man, we have some interesting citizens here.
Some very interesting characters that live in Sandy.
Speaking of interesting characters in Sandy, there was also a group of homeless men who they were thought had set a fire to a abandoned structure in Sandy. They were unable to find out the exact cause without more investigation of whether they set it or someone else had set it, because I guess they set their tents inside, went to go get something from the store, and when they came back it was on fire.
Those gentlemen seem to be getting around the county very well. I'm starting to wonder if they may be hitchhikers and homeless at the same time.
They may be, yeah, getting around quite well, because we saw them out in the Vespucci, Los Santos area not long ago.
That's right. They was down in that area, and they was over at the Irish pub within the same night. And they made it way across town.
Yep.
They've got to be hitchhiking, or maybe they're trying to pull some wool over somebody's eyes somehow, some way. Maybe they're some of those that's put the billboards beside the road asking for money, and then they're actually driving Mercedes just parked around to the side.
Yes. And also a special notice for the Sandy area to really watch yourself. There have been a uptick in murder kitty mountain lions in the area of Sandy Shores. There were 2 seen last Tuesday, and an officer actually got attacked on a traffic stop by one. Luckily, she was okay and has made a full recovery, but we don't usually see them this close to town lately. So if you have anything out that might attract them, please bring them indoors.
It could be since in this cold, we're starting to move in and trying to find food or warm places to lay down at.
Yep. Definitely not something we want to see, but it's been quite the interesting week though there.
It has been, with all the wildlife going on, the snowfall, and all the crazy calls that's been going in and out lately.
Yes indeed, truly. Let me see, I'm trying to think of what else we had to deal with throughout the week. I know that the commissioner also had pulled over 2 vehicles, big, not monster truck, but high-rise pickup trucks that were unfit for road conditions. So he would like me to remind everybody to make sure that your vehicles have gotten their yearly inspections, are fit to be on the roadway, especially with this cold weather moving in.
That's right. If you need snow chains, make sure you keep them packed with you in case you go up into those mountain areas too. As you know, snow chains helps a lot when the roads get snowy and icy.
Absolutely. Have you listened to any music here lately, Dick?
Nothing new. I've kind of switched back over to the Mirror Park radio. I've
You
been
always
hanging
like
out on
that
this
one.
side of town. Oh yeah, I like that one. It gets a good mix up of different radios,
Yeah,
genres.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
how much there, Lindsay? You still your country kick for now?
You know what? I have been on the country kick. I'm into the rock again a little bit, but so it's like a combination. But hey, you can't go wrong with it. And sooner or later we'll start listening to some Christmas music here and there. Have you seen the decorations lately? They are beautiful.
Oh yes, I have seen the decorations. All the Christmas trees spread all over the city. The huge trees in like the city center
Yeah,
gathering areas. Those are some beautiful signs of all the light poles. Have you seen the palm trees with light sets wrapped around the palm trees as they light up?
I have, and it is lovely.
Uh, DOT and the city and statewide management, they've done a great job this year on Christmas decorations. I think they have surpassed the previous year's decorations.
Absolutely, I would have to agree. I would definitely have to agree.
Did you know we have two new businesses that have come to the city and the state now?
I have heard. Why don't you highlight them for us?
One of them is the logging business out just to the southwest of Toledo. You can now go and work as a lumberjack for the lumber mill, cutting down trees, then hauling the tree trunks to the lumber mill to be made into pallets of wood. And from there, you can load those pallets of woods, wood onto semis and then take the semis and make your deliveries of pallets with the forklift to the local construction sites within the state.
Fantastic.
It's actually a pretty good little job. I was able to kind of ride along with some of the workers doing it, and it's a pretty nice and neat little job they got set up there.
That's awesome.
I haven't really got to check out the new farming job that's come to the city. I know some folks that I've talked to says it's a nice, very nice, and it's a wonderfully relaxing job they get to do.
That's awesome.
You plant hay and load hay up, and then deliver the hay itself along with some other items, I believe.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Love to hear and see that we have more labor jobs and more pay getting put out for people who need a job.
That's right. We try to make sure all of our citizens have the benefits of attempting to make a little bit of extra Christmas money this year.
Absolutely. We love to see it. Um, and I will highlight. I'm gonna say that my personal person of the week, I would like to highlight would be Mr. Jamie H for hopping on dispatch and being able to complete his training and really take it under his wing of helping the community out. So I would like to highlight him as my person of the week. Do you have anyone that you'd like to highlight?
Right now, let's see. Let's highlight. Well, let's highlight Mr. Rye Wilson on his jobs with the bait cars, and and keeping some of these criminals off the streets that take these bait cars.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A great job well done. And of course, we also like to always I can't talk. We always like to highlight our new members as well. I know we have a few pending coming on in. So if you guys are wanting to join us in this awesome roleplay, you guys can go to go to kuffsgaming.com. All the information is to the side of your screen here, and you can really learn about what we have to offer and see all the great things.
That's right. It's a fun time hanging out here in the city with everybody.
It is. We always appreciate everybody being on, watching us, and you guys can hit exclamation rotation to see who is streaming up next within the city. But we appreciate you all hanging out with us. Do you have anything else to add, Mr. Nick Dastardly?
Other than, I believe the snow is here to stay, so everybody be safe out in the snow.
Yep.
This year the good old Farmer's Almanac has said the snow might be here to Valentine's Day this time around.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, so you be safe. Swing by Mosley's and Hayes for your all-wheel drive kits. Take those turbos off so you don't spin out in the snow. But
Yep.
Be safe, and if you happen to wind up in a ditch, call 911 and they'll try to get your tow out to you and law enforcement to you as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. And on that note, we appreciate everybody watching. Be safe, and don't forget to spread the donkadogs and not hate. We will see you on the next one. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Chill. Yeah. M16.
This is unbelievable.
Brr. Weazel. You don't really wanna miss Weazel news. We keep the city on they P's and they Q's, cause they know we pull up with them cameras and shoot. We tell the truth so you don't get confused. You don't really wanna miss Weazel news. We keep the city on they P's and Q's, cause they know we pull up with them cameras and shoot. We tell the truth so you don't get confused. Hey. Shout out to my boss, Baron. You know that man make it happen. He got our foot up in the damn door, and now the whole team taking action. We got pictures on whether you can chat with cheddar. Hit me for your music needs, who gon' do it better? And you can catch Travis on a rash report, or catch me going live with the facts from the source. Ari is a newswoman, plus you with the force. Man, the whole Weazel staff, we on top, check the score. Editors, producers, all going hard. Don't make us pull up with them cameras in your front yard. Weazel.